Baldwin Spencer, just newly elected, making his way out on the middle to congratulate Brian Lara. The England players all congratulating him. He is now 384 not out. World record score. I hear champagne corks going. What a moment. What a moment for cricket. What a moment for Brian Lara. We'll enjoy the moment, but I know what he's got. He wants 400 now. And I think we could be in for some entertainment. He's got what he wanted, the record. Acknowledging the crowd. Absorbing every moment of this, as we all should. It is amazing. Well done, Brian Lara. The man is back, Bish. The man is back.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And you just have to think of the words of the former Jamaican Prime Minister in his book on West Indian cricketers. Lara does just as he did 10 years ago. He kisses the turf at the Antigua Recreation Ground. Greatness as a response to failure has been evident in the flesh here at the Antigua Recreation Ground once again.
I don't think it matters whether you're a West Indian supporter, an England supporter, or just a cricket supporter. It's a great, great moment. And he did it in style, a 6 and a 4, to take him back to the record that he wanted so desperately.
That's a nice shot.
Sorry, Bob. Got carried away again with that shot.
.398 not out. There it goes, down to Armstrong again, 399. Lara will have the strike at the start of the 202nd over, 7:46 for 5. .399, Brian Lara on strike. Gareth Batty's the bowler. Oh. Well, it wouldn't have been the most gracious way to go to 400 off the inside edge, so Lara isn't in a hurry to take a single. He'd like to do it in better style than that.
Few problems there behind the bowler's arm. Side screen didn't change over to white. Maybe that's why he got that inside edge to the previous delivery.
Batty to Lara. There goes the sweep. There it is. Perhaps the most significant single ever in the history of Test match cricket. Brian Charles Lara becomes the first man in the history of the game to register a score of 400. 582 deliveries, 776 minutes with 43 fours and 4 sixes. A remarkable human being.
Another big one for Brian Lara. 400 runs.
So for the second time in his career, Brian Lara leaving the Antigua Recreation Ground through a guard of honour of his teammates and colleagues there. A well-deserved guard of honour it was too. And afterwards he spoke to Michael Holding.
Brian, we know world records are nothing new for you, but 400 runs, this must be something special.
It is very special. I remember back in June of '94 when I scored 501. I did wonder what it'd be like to score, you know, 1, 2, 3. I had a I had a principal century, and then I wanted to score a quadruple, and to get it today was really, really special.
Everyone is saying the pitch is nice to bat on, but you have still got to go out there and get those runs. We saw the concentration on you. How hard was it?
It was tough, but I think it was building up from Barbados. I spent a lot of time in the middle. I didn't get the results that I wanted, but I thought I worked on my game, especially after the second test match. And, you know, today and over the last 3 days, you know, I've benefited from it.
There are a few rumors going around that Matt Hayden called you from last night to wish you the best. Is that so?
He might have tried, but I didn't get that call yet. But I know Australian time, Matt would have been looking or listening. I'm sure that he was wishing me on. I remember hearing it back in October when he broke my record, and I thought I was very happy for the game and for Matthew. And I suppose he'd feel the same. But I may check my messages and see if he did call.
In other words, you didn't want to hear from anyone last night. The target was on, and you didn't want to hear from anyone.
Well, actually, I was calling people from 3 o'clock this morning because I couldn't sleep. You know, a couple of my English friends, it was 8 o'clock in the morning there, and you know, they were good wishes, and I think it was great to get out there and get that runs today.
Well, Brian, 400 runs, that's behind you. I think someone asked you earlier on if you were trying to break the world record against Bangladesh. What about getting 401 against them?
Nah, I would like to see someone get it. I'd like to see our team start scoring 400, 500 plus on a regular basis with contribution from especially the younger players. I think I've had my time in the sun, and I've enjoyed it. I think you know, I'd love to sit back and see the Chris Gales and Sarwan and the younger guys go out there and get the big scores.
So Brian Lara, weary but nonetheless very, very satisfied with his day's work. 400 not out, a wonderful achievement. We then got some reaction from some of the greats who saw it all.
In many ways, I thought this innings was better than the 375 he scored 10 years ago, because 10 years ago it was a new adventure for him, and he didn't know quite where it was leading to, and you paid so much attention to detail and things like that. But to then be prepared to go through the same ordeal again and not get bored, not get frustrated, try and get there quicker than before, I think was an amazing achievement for him, and one of the greatest achievements in sport.
To come up with an innings of such magnitude, the length of concentration, the physical stamina, a switch around in form, what it says to me is that he's possibly the strongest player mentally on the circuit today.
Well, it was an innings that took on all the responsibility in the world. He showed incredible stamina, and it was just a beautiful technical innings, memorable, magnificent.
I just felt that for all the problems that he had, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, the mental side of things, not just maybe being out of nick and things like that and being sorted out by the English bowlers, but the way I think he came back in Antigua, I think it's more mental strength than anything else, and it just goes to show you how strong he is mentally.
Considering all the circumstances and the pressure that Brian Lara was under, the pressure that West Indian cricket was under, I actually feel put that all in the melting pot and you come out with one hell of an innings.
He made the world record 375, and now he's gone on and lost it and then got it again. I think it's awesome. First man to get 400, the only man that's lost the world record and got it back ever. I think it's fantastic. And I think also, you know, people will say, well, it was a modest England side, a very flat pitch, a sunny day. Well, we've all had good pitches to bat on, we've all had nice sunny days, and we haven't done what he's done, so I don't think you can belittle it. I don't think in any contest you can say it wasn't awesome.
If you go back to his words at the beginning of the series, he said, I'm a better player now than I was 10 years ago. I'm not just as flashy, and I wouldn't disagree.
Well, if you can stay out there for 13 hours and concentrate and nurse along the batsman of lesser ability at the other end, that's a great ability to have as a batsman, as a captain. He has to go down as one of the greatest players of all time.
I think it was his discipline, really, to not get carried away at any moment, to keep carrying on batting at the same tempo. All right, there were a couple of occasions where he danced down the wicket and hit sixes, but he just methodically went about collecting each 50 runs, ticking another landmark off the list, and going about beating Matthew Hayden's record.
I think the most impressive feature of the innings was the fact that he batted so long, because we know that he made 375 on this very same pitch in the past, but it didn't take him as long. He played a lot more shots, got a lot more boundaries. Even he himself said that this bowling attack was a lot better than the bowling attack he batted against in 1994, so it took greater concentration. And as I said, that length of time, that amount of concentration at that age, fantastic.
He never looked in any trouble whatever. He never looked to be exhausted. He never looked to be bored. He just looked as if he was going to make as many runs as he wanted to.
The ability to blank out everything, all the peripheral things, and even when his fitness is not at its optimum, and manipulate the strike, carry the batting of the entire team. 400 runs out of a total of 751, more than half the runs. Certainly the mental strength to overcome anything is Brian Lara's greatest strength.
Getting the world record once is fantastic, yeah. I mean, we'd all dream of doing it once. But then when you've lost it, you know, and 10 years later, you're much older, you think, well, that's not going to come again, you know. You just get one chance in your life, don't you? So to do it a second time and go past it to 400, and he's under such a lot of pressure, has been, since England have walloped him 3-0. He hasn't made a run. Many ex-players here want to sack him as captain. So he's had all that added pressure, and yet he's come back with no fluency, no runs behind his name, no form. I think he's done marvellously well.
In the first game, you know, he hadn't done it before. It was a new experience. Here he's crossed that line once. He's seen it taken away from him. To have the determination, the character to come back and do it again, I think it just shows great willpower. And I sat there and I knew he was a great player, but he's one of the greats of all time.
So what more can we say? Everyone who is here at the Antigua Recreation Ground will take away memories that will last them for the rest of their lives. All in all, it was a wonderful performance by a wonderful player.
There it is! The world record has fallen once again to Brian Charles Lara of Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies, the second time in his career that he's broken this record.
Perhaps the most significant single ever in the history of Test match cricket. Brian Charles Lara becomes the first man in the history of the game to register a score of 400.
Great moment in cricketing history. It is amazing. Well done, Brian Lara.